President Trump wants Greenland. The Vice President of the United States, Vance, wants Greenland. Hell, I'm a nobody, and now I want Greenland. This isn't a joke though, it's official US policy, their frozen fantasy, and they are not letting go, no pun intended. But the question in this post is, how can the United States legally acquire Greenland? Let me explain international law, power, and the real consequences of trying to absorb an entire country by deal or by force. Remember, if you like this content, please subscribe and follow for more. Why does the US want Greenland? Greenland isn't just snow and polar bears and the northern lights. It's a geological goldmine. Underneath the ice are rare earth elements like lithium and graphite used in military tech, electric cars and smartphones. The future to keep and secure the Make America Great agenda. Right now, the US depends at times on other countries for those precious minerals. Greenland could change all that. And then there's oil, black gold, and a lot of it. The US Geological Survey estimates billions of barrels of oil in northeast Greenland. And thanks to climate change, melting ice is opening up new Arctic shipping routes, whoever controls it. So Greenland is a massive deal economically and strategically. That's why the US already operates the Space Air Base in northern Greenland. It's crucial for missile defense and satellite surveillance. The base is there with Denmark's permission though. But make no mistake, Washington wants more than permission. Its mission is to expand US territory. In recent weeks, US talk of territorial ambitions have extended to Canada, Gaza, and now Greenland. All are now in the sights of the United States of America. Some people call that imperialism. President Trump calls it the business of real estate. Lucky for Greenland, the Riviera of the North. That's the dream. So who owns Greenland? Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. It governs itself in most areas, health, education, infrastructure, but Denmark still controls foreign affairs and defense. The 1951 Defense of Greenland Agreement gives the US access to Greenland for military purposes, but that's it. No sovereignty, no ownership. And since 2009, under the Greenland Self-Government Act, Greenland have gained the legal right to declare full independence, if they want it. So to be clear, the only two entities with any legal say over Greenland's sovereignty are Denmark and the people of Greenland, not the US and not me, yet. In 2019, President Trump floated the idea of buying Greenland in his first term as president. His exact words were, essentially, it's a large real estate deal. Denmark's reaction was immediate. Not for sale, and President Trump cancelled a state visit in response. But this idea didn't die. In 2025, in President Trump's second term, he has again made clear the US must have Greenland for international security. Vance, the US Vice President, visited Greenland and said, "Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland." This isn't just rhetoric. It's now not a joke. This is America's testing the waters again. So what does international law say? The possible annexation of Greenland is not just a political move. It's a legal minefield for the US. And international law is crystal clear on this. Article 2.4 of the United Nations Charter says, all members shall refrain from the threats or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. That means the US can't just invade or pressure its way into ownership of Greenland. Any forced annexation would be illegal. Period. The United Nations General Assembly Declaration on Principles of International Law Resolution 2625 dated 1970 adds, no territorial acquisition resulting from the threat or use of force shall be recognized as legal. If you take it by threat or use of force, it doesn't count. There's also Article 1 of the United Nations Charter, which protects the rights of people to self-determination. Greenland has that right, and they're using it. But can Greenland ever legally become mine? I mean, America's? Yes, but only under conditions, if Greenlanders and Denmark both agree. Here's how that would work legally, and this is how the US could go about it. 1. Greenland would need to vote for it, likely through a national referendum. It must be a free and fair expression of the will of the Greenland people. 2. Denmark would have to agree to relinquish sovereignty under Danish constitutional law. That would require legal approval by the Danish parliament. 3. The US would need to ratify a treaty. That's done under Article 2, Section 2 of the United States Constitution. The Senate would have to approve. And 4, the agreement would need to be registered with the United Nations under Article 102 of the United Nations Charter to be legally recognized by the international community. So you can see the US route to acquiring Greenland. It's possible. It would be historic. It will be amazing. It would make Greenland great again. But it would have to be completely legal, completely consensual, and globally transparent. However, there is a big but. Greenlanders say no, loud and clear. Greenland's leaders aren't interested at all. The Premier said it bluntly. Greenland is not for sale. Greenland is not Danish. Greenland belongs to Greenland. In 2025, all major Greenlandic parties formed a coalition to resist foreign influence, especially from the US. They want independence, not annexation. And that matters. Under international law, ignoring the opposition would violate Greenlanders' right to self-determination. But what would happen if the US tries to take Greenland illegally by force? If the US tried to annex Greenland without consent, it would trigger a political firestorm. The US would be in breach of the United Nations Charter, the Declaration of Friendly Relations, and violate Denmark's sovereign rights under customary international law. And however unlikely this sounds, NATO allies could impose sanctions. The United Nations Security Council could take action under Chapter 7 of the Charter. And as for US standing in the world, America's credibility on Ukraine, Taiwan, or anywhere else would completely collapse. You can't criticize Russia for invading Crimea or criticize China's claim for Taiwan and then turn around and land grab Greenland. But the final question is this: should the US do it? The US can annex Greenland, but only if Greenland and Denmark say yes. There is a legal path, but there's also a very clear line between legal acquisition and illegal colonization. And right now, that line isn't just legal, it's political, moral, and deeply unpopular in Greenland. But what do you think? Feel free to comment, subscribe and follow for more, and thank you for watching.